Well, hello and welcome. Today we're going to learn about blending. So the first thing that I would like you to do is open up Adobe Illustrator. And when you have Adobe Illustrator open, I would like you to go to File and New, and let's name our new file Blending. The size of our paper is 8.5 inches wide and 11 inches high. And then we're going to click the blue Create button. And this gives us a nice page to work on. There are many different kinds of blends that you can do in Adobe Illustrator, and we're going to explore some of those today. So the first thing I would like you to do is, in your toolbar, find your rectangle tool, click on it, and we're going to draw a small square. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste that square. So with the square selected, Control C is copy, Control V is paste, and I'm going to use the black arrow tool, or your selection tool, and I'm going to move the copy of the square to the other side. Now I would like these to line up fairly evenly, so to help me do that, I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut Control R. Control R will bring up your rulers. And from your rulers, you're going to click right in that ruler, hold down your mouse button and pull down a little guide. And you can see that this box isn't quite on the same line. So I'm going to click on the second square I made the copy, and using my arrow keys on my keyboard, I'm going to move it down so that it's fairly even. Okay, now what I'd like to do is click just on my first square, look at my toolbar. My top box is my fill color, and I would like to make the fill color of my first box yellow. So I'm going to choose a nice yellow. I'm going to make sure the stroke is none, so I want no stroke. Now in my second box, I'm going to choose another primary color with red, and I'm going to fill it with red. And again, I'm going to make my stroke color none. So now I have two boxes, a yellow box and a red box, and we're going to blend those two boxes together. So I'm going to take my black arrow tool and I'm going to drag it across to make sure I have both boxes selected. You can see the blue line, so you know that both the boxes are selected. Then I'm going to double click on my blend tool, and when it comes up, you have some options: specified distance, specified steps, or smooth color. For this particular blend, we're going to pick smooth color and then click OK. Then I'm going to click in the dot in the middle of the yellow box and the dot in the middle of the red box, and you can see there's a smooth color, a smooth transition, a smooth blend from the red to the yellow. And we know that when you mix yellow and red, we get orange, and we can see that orange effect right there in the middle. Okay, let's try another blend. All right, let's start off this time with a circle. So if I hold down the rectangle tool, I can go to the ellipse tool, and I'm going to draw a small circle here. And this time I'm going to make my fill color none, but I'm going to make my stroke color black. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do with this blend is we're going to blend one shape into another shape. So I'm going to pick a different shape. So I'm going to hold down the ellipse tool, and I think I'll go to the star tool, and I'll just draw a small star on the other side. And I can take my selection tool, my black arrow tool, and move it down so that they're fairly even. And again, if I want to click inside of the rule and bring down a guide so that they are fairly even, I can do that. And I noticed that I could bring this one down just a little bit. Okay, now what we're going to do is take our selection tool or black arrow tool, and we're going to drag it across, not everything. We're not going to grab our smooth blend up here, but just our circle and our star, our two shapes. We're going to double click on the blend tool again, and this time we're going to hold down the little arrow, and we're going to go to where it says specified steps. So I'm going to click specified steps. I'm going to type in the number 12, click OK. And then I'm going to click on a dot, a little blue dot on the circle, and a little blue dot on the star. And you can see how you have blended the circle to the star. This is called morphing, when you change from one shape to another, and you can slowly see that circular shape changing into that star shape. So this is something else that you can do with the blend tool. We're going to do one more blend. This is kind of fun. You can use any kind of shape that you want, but I think I'm going to go ahead and use the rectangle tool this time. And I'm going to draw a rectangle, and I am going to fill it with a color. And I'm going to show you the difference between blending with a stroke and without a stroke. So for the first one, I'm going to make sure that I have a black stroke and any color that you want for fill. And I'm going to do 3 different shapes. So we have a green shape, and I'm going to draw another shape, and I'm going to change the color. And it doesn't matter what color, this is just for fun, so you can use any color that you want to. I'll overlap my shapes a little bit. All right, now what I'm going to do is take my selection tool, and I'm going to select all 3 of my shapes, double click on my blend tool, and this time I'm going to go to specified distance. Click on that, click OK, and I'm going to just start clicking on the different corners, so different blue points of my different shapes. And you can see that it blends these shapes together. But if I click off of it, you'll also see a lot of black lines in there. That's because you have a black stroke. Now, if this is the effect that you're looking for, that's great, and it may be, and that is fine. But you might want something of more of a smoother blend. So let's go ahead and try that. I'm going to delete this for a moment, and we can do kind of the same thing. Just for fun, we'll pick some different colors. Okay, so maybe I'll pick yellow. I like to use contrasting colors. I think it's just really pretty. All right, I am going to take my black arrow tool, select my little shapes. This time, we're going to make sure that our stroke is none. And let's do the same thing and see the difference. So once again, we're going to go back to our blend tool, double click, specify distance. We'll just let it default, click OK. And we're going to click on those little blue dots down there, okay? And we're going to blend some of these colors together and see what it looks like. Okay, so you can see that that's a much softer, smoother transitional blend. There isn't a right or a wrong or a good or a bad. It kind of just depends upon the final look that you're looking for. Now I want to show you one other thing because you might enjoy this next blend. I'm going to open up a file that I have of a leaf. I have a leaf here, and we're going to do a blend with a shape. Now, this is a shape of a leaf, but you can draw a shape of anything that you want. But I would suggest if you are drawing a shape in Adobe Illustrator that you have a closed path. That means if you start drawing, you want to end on the same point that you started on. Okay, so this is a closed path, and I am going to add a gradient to this leaf because sometimes in fall you see the beautiful colors. So you can go to Window and you can click on the word gradient, and your gradient tool comes up. And if I click on my fill box, I can fill it with a gradient. Now, black and white, it's okay. Again, it depends what you're looking for, but if you want to add some color, if you go to the gradient tool and you click on the little circle, now watch what's going to happen. If I click on the little circle, my color is going to turn black and white, but that's okay. I can hold down the little arrows and go to CMYK, and I can pick some different colors. So maybe I want some yellow in my leaf, and if I click in the bar right underneath the gradient tool, I can add color. I can add as many different colors as I want. So, you can pick, you can move these over back and forth, you can move them around. Again, if it turns white, hold down the little lines and you can add whatever colors it is that you're looking for. So when you get the right color combination that you're happy with, okay, we're going to just move this out of the way a little bit. All right, I am going to copy and paste this leaf. So with this leaf selected, Control C is copy, Control V is paste, and my black arrow tool will actually help me move the leaves around in different positions. My rotate tool will allow me to rotate my leaves in different shapes. And I'm going to copy and paste again, Control C, Control V, do another rotation. So it looks like leaves are falling down from the sky off the trees a little bit. Okay. And when I get the leaves where I want them on the page, I'm going to select all of them. And I'm going to double click on the blend tool. We're going back to specified distance, click OK. And again, we are just going to start clicking on the little blue dots of the different shapes. Okay, and you can see when you have a stroke in there, you can see those lines. Again, this is something that you may like, and you might prefer not to have the line. So let's do it one more time. I'm going to do Control Z, which is undo, and I am going to take away the stroke so none of them have a stroke, and we're going to try the blend again. So I'm going to double click on the blend tool, specify distance again, everything is the same. The only difference is now we don't have a stroke. So I'm going to click again, and we're going to blend the shapes together and see the difference and see if this is more appealing. So we're going to click off of it, and you can see it's just like a swirl or a mesh of colors. So it really kind of depends upon the look that you want. Now, if you wanted to define it a little bit better, you could click on the different leaf shapes, and you could go back and you could add some different strokes. So you can add it where you want. You could add strokes, you could add lines, or you could take the strokes off and say none. Totally up to you. I hope that you had fun doing this project, and make sure to save your work as an Adobe Illustrator file. And of course you want to go to File, Export, JPEG, so that you have a JPEG file that you can add to a slideshow or email to family or friends. And I hope you have a fun time working with blends. Thank you.